Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Insufficient Friends. I'm Kevin. She's Nikki.
Hi.
And, Nick, well, for anybody who's new around here, this is a podcast where Nick and I just talk about whatever we want to. Last week we talked about back to school. This week we're talking about TikTok cults. Specifically one TikTok cult. And the reason being is recently a new documentary was released on Netflix called Dancing with the Devil. Is it 7M cult, I believe is what it is? The 7M cult and the is it Shekinah? Shekinah Church. Yes. I feel like I need to play the spoilers thing for this because
Yeah. We are going to talk about some recent events literally within the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, we'll just do that because we usually use it for the movies, but we'll use it here too because
but the documentary I think is relatively new. It was released last year, but then there have been some current events.
Yes. Current
that we're going to talk about for sure. So
which means we're current. This has never happened, Nick. Normally we're talking about stuff from like 1,000 years ago. Yep. But today we're current.
That's wild.
So anyway, we don't have any shout-outs this week because we just did this. If you notice that we're wearing the same clothes from last week, it's because we just did this like 20 seconds ago. Don't have any shout-outs. Don't have anything that happened from our week because that was all last week. So we're just going to jump right into this cult. And I just recently watched this. I was recommended it by some people at work because I had never heard of this.
Okay.
I've seen. I don't have TikTok. Never gotten TikTok. Yeah. Never been on TikTok.
I was wondering how you found this documentary.
I was recommended to it from people at work. I know what the TikTok dances are. I've seen TikTok dances before. Now, I don't know who any of these people are. I've never seen any of these people that were in the documentary. I don't really know that many people I don't know the people on TikTok. I know of the dances. I know that the dances are a popular thing on TikTok, or used to be a popular thing on TikTok. But I just thought it was interesting that there was a cult for just the dancers. Like, I just thought that was interesting to me. So I watched this. It's a 3-part series that about an hour a piece, so it's about 3 hours long in total. But yeah, I thought this was very interesting. And it also kind of spans outside of just the dancing too, which is even more interesting.
100%, which was very interesting because I actually knew the main girl of the documentary. I had followed her and followed this. Before I had seen this documentary, I saw all this on social media.
Okay.
So I saw the people talking about the conspiracy theories and everything on social media. Okay. I didn't even know there was a documentary about it, to be honest, until you said it. And I was like, oh, I watched that happen firsthand of the sister posting about everything. Yeah. Okay. So, but the documentary was fascinating because it took it from, it's just a couple dancers on TikTok. All of a sudden, they're all in this church together, and then they're cutting off people from their family, and that was odd in and of itself. So the first episode was about the dancers specifically. Second episode, we kind of got a little glimpse in the end of the first episode into, wait, this had started happening 20 years ago in this church. So this guy, Robert Shin. Is his first name Robert?
I think so. Yeah.
I swear it's Robert. Why is his first name not anywhere? Yeah, Robert Shin. Okay. So Robert Shin, so he had this Shekinah church that he was pastor of that started in 1994. So the church has been around for a while. The 7M TikTok media empire is very new, new within the last couple of years. But in the second episode, we got a glimpse into people who had been taken advantage of that weren't dancers, had nothing to do with TikTok, but had been taken advantage of by their church in the past.
Allegedly.
And Yeah, allegedly. Um, and now are speaking out about it
Mm-hmm.
and are suing the church and everything. But then come to find out, in order to get more revenue, this church was exploiting these dancers as well. So literally nothing to do with the original church, except that all these dancers were hooked into this Christian ideology
Yeah.
of this pastor. But um, so the Shekinah church, we learn in this second episode that Shekinah Church was taking about 70 to 80% of these dancers' paychecks.
Mm-hmm.
And these are not like off Broadway, struggling to survive dancers. These are like doing very well for themselves economically, dancers, because they're on TikTok and very popular
Which
and
I
have lots of brand deals. And
I will say that the one thing that they talked about in this is that 7M does get them a lot of these brand deals. Like,
yeah,
the production company
target
does
them.
kind of
Yeah.
help target them towards them, but they also take a
70 to
major
80%.
like, and they do, and
Yep.
allegedly,
Mm-hmm.
what they do in this and what they talk about later too is that they take so much money, but it doesn't look like they're taking as much money because it's all paid out in
Correct.
different ways. It's paid out. They do like 20% to the production company is how they pay it out,
Yeah.
and then they do another 10 or 20% to the church as a donation, and then they do another
Yeah.
percentage to other people. Like, it's all going to different places, so it doesn't look
Yep.
like it's all going, but it's all going to the one place, same
Yep.
place, same
Exactly.
person, everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just
Yeah.
it's
And
interesting.
it's crazy that it's hard to prosecute that because that's financial abuse.
Yeah,
We know that. But in the courts, it's not financial abuse because all these people willingly,
they're
this was
agreeing
a
to it.
willing partnership.
Yeah.
Exactly. Which is just so crazy. That's why there, I mean, and there's a whole lady that comes on to talk about that, one of the
Mm-hmm.
investigators or journalists, investigative journalists, that talks about why it is so hard to prosecute cults. They have to, what'd she say? I
And
wrote
there's
it down.
also there's also the freedom of religion, which is another big thing
Exactly,
that goes
exactly.
into it. Yeah.
So, oh yes, she said basically they have to like actively participate in like labor trafficking
Mm-hmm.
or human trafficking, and it be to the extent that it's there's proof and it's provable, or provable financial misconduct, which is actually, she was explaining, like it's extremely hard.
Mm-hmm.
You can't say, oh, the church is taking 80% of their income. They are, but these people agreed to it.
Seem to be okay
So,
with it. Yeah.
yeah, so that's what's hard,
Yeah.
which is very interesting to see kind of the ins and outs of the court system a little bit. Not a
Yeah.
ton, but a little bit, seeing what they need to prove a case. And also, like, the sad part was a lot of these people were also sexually abused as well by this pastor,
Mm-hmm.
allegedly. But they can't prove it because it's a he said, she said, and they were willingly there in the church. And where's the line? Like, they were talking about how hard it is to prosecute crimes against women, and in some cases men too, but majority women,
Yeah.
especially in this case specifically. But God, it's so sad, the just how hard it is to prosecute these things when
I
we all see from the outside
yeah.
like this is evil.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm sure there's something. I I don't understand how you get sucked into a cult like this.
Hmm.
I don't understand how you don't, like, I understand that it's like a slow process, and like you
Hmm.
like slowly get more and more integrated into it and things, but at some point when people tell you to start cutting off your family, I don't
Yeah.
understand how that process is in your head. Like, oh
Hmm.
yeah, that makes sense. Like, I
Yeah.
don't, because
Well, they kind of did explain it.
they did.
It was a religious side of it.
They
I'm fully with you, but they did kind of explain it a little bit because that's a big question everyone always asks.
Yeah.
So basically, the church said,
The
if
only
you
way to
want to
save
save
them,
your family,
yeah,
the only way your family's going to go to heaven is if
You cut
you
them
die to
off.
them.
Yeah.
They called it die to them. So basically, they're like, fire and brimstone threatening. If you
But
don't die to them, your family doesn't go to heaven. So I agree that that still would not make me
it,
cut off my family,
yeah,
but they were so broken down at this point.
it just doesn't like in a lot of it seems like a lot of groups that do that. They
Mhm.
try to separate you as much as possible from everybody else to
Mhm.
get you just into their thing.
Yeah.
And cults just do that. That's what they do.
Yeah.
But it's just and then the other weird thing was that in this you see him switch course where he
Hmm.
stops doing that and he's like, no, you
Yep.
have to go see your family because otherwise it draws
Yeah.
too much attention to us.
Yep.
Because
Hmm.
when the sister and the mother when they all came out and said like this is a
Hmm.
cult, he's like, oh crap, we
Yeah.
need to
I've
not
been
draw the
found out.
attention. We
I need
need
to
to,
step back a
yeah,
little bit.
you guys all
Hmm.
need to go. Like even if you don't do anything, just make it look like you're a nice happy family. You all need to
Yeah.
go show face.
Post
Yes.
videos, go live.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Um.
just so crazy.
Yeah.
And it's also crazy to me how you can be the one in a cult and even your whole entire family and people outside of your family are saying you need to get out of this. How you're not like, oh, la di da di da, I'm gonna
Yeah.
keep going. When I mean, it's not like it's one person saying you're in a cult.
Yeah.
It's an entire family, friends of the family, the United States,
Yeah.
like people on the internet,
Well,
but also other people that have left that
other
cult.
people that are in it. Like
Hmm.
they talked to
Yeah.
a couple of the people that left when this kind of all started, um,
Hmm.
that were in this documentary too. Like three of the dancers who left at the
Yeah.
time when the other family came out. And they're like, we realized like this is a joke, like this is crazy.
Hmm.
And one of the girls even said that when she was in there, when they were trying to separate them, cut off their family, she's like the main girl, I can't remember her name, but the main girl that they were
Miranda.
Miranda that they were focusing
Hmm.
on, she even said the other girl said like she was crying. She wanted to spend time with her family,
Hmm.
but she kept being told that she couldn't and stuff like that. It's like,
Yeah.
why would you listen to somebody? Like, why would you listen to
And
somebody
I'm kind of
then?
wondering because she married another member of the
Yes.
church.
Yes.
So then it's like, okay, that adds a whole nother layer. The people that left the cult were not married.
It's true.
They were single.
Yeah.
Well, they were kind of like boyfriend and girl, but not really.
There
Like
was a
they
couple
broken
of them
up
that were
now.
in relationships with each other, but
Yeah, like a little bit, but
they
not
were, yeah.
married. And so Miranda Wilking, now Miranda Derrick is her married name. She's the one that I followed on. I don't have TikTok anymore. I see everything like 2 days later through Instagram, but um, I saw all of this transpire, and Miranda's, sister putting out lives and
Hmm.
everything. And I still see videos of Miranda dancing because she's still in the cult.
Yeah.
She's still very much in the church, and a part of 7M Entertainment and everything, and doing brand deals and everything. But I looked at it the other day. I looked at her page because I was curious because I hadn't looked at it in a long time or seen any videos pop up in a long time. She is dancing with the same two people for basically the past year.
Which is, I'm guessing there are
So,
other ones that are in this group.
yep,
Yeah.
most likely. So I don't think they expressly say, they are part of this 7M or whatever, but she's dancing with the same like one woman and like another guy like the past year. So I don't know. It's just weird. Like if I don't know why she stays. I truly don't because of her marriage, maybe.
I guess. But
I don't know.
I hope.
Or maybe there's, more that we don't know.
Yeah.
There have been, I'm not saying this is the case with her because I don't want to throw conspiracy theories out there just like spaghetti at a wall, but in other cults, in other organizations like this, what has happened is they will have like they keep the children in a separate area or something like
Hmm.
that. So that way you can't leave because you're physically leaving like kids behind
Yeah.
or something like this. So I'm not saying that that would be the case with her. I don't know. No one knows.
Yeah.
But maybe there's something that's holding her there this long when everyone else has left. Her family is screaming from the mountaintops, like, leave, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I I just don't get it. I just don't
Yeah.
get it. But they're all their own people, so they can do whatever they
Yeah.
want to do as long
They
as
they
they're
live
not
their lives how they want to
hurting.
live it.
As long as they're not hurting anybody else. Now, the dude who runs the
Hmm.
thing and is hurting everybody, that's a problem. But
Yeah.
allegedly.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
but anyway, we talked about how this is current. Is
Hmm.
his compound, home, whatever,
Hmm.
was it like the last week was raided by the FBI, correct? Like,
Yep. So this was published on July 29th.
yeah, so a week and a half ago, something like that. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, did it say why? I didn't actually read it. I just saw
Yeah,
the
so this
headline. So,
says, oh, on Friday, July 25th, the Los Angeles Times reported that federal agents raided a property linked to Robert Shin, the subject of Netflix's 2024 docuseries Dancing for the Devil. The outlet reported that the search was related to multiple allegations, including sex trafficking and money laundering.
okay,
And it says Shin is one of several people associated with ownership of the house. And then it just goes on to talk about the docu series too. But
okay,
so those were the allegations:
which
sex
are
trafficking and money laundering.
which is what they talked about in the
Yep.
documentary. And several women went to the Los Angeles Police Department and gave
Hmm.
reports of
Yeah.
alleged abuse and
So
things like that. So,
yeah,
yes,
it says the El Monte Police Department and the FBI assisted agents from the U.S. Postal Service, Internal Revenue Service, and U.S. Department of Labor. Okay. So those are the agencies that served the warrants, but the police and FBI were there to execute the warrants. It's
okay,
kind of what that sounds like.
hmm.
What did he do to send the U.S. Postal Service after him? It must have been like money laundering by mail or something.
Possible. I don't know. Yeah,
I know, or is wire fraud? No, wire fraud's not. I feel like this happened with Teresa Giudice too, the Real Housewife. There's something by mail, some fraud by mail or something, but um, I don't know how bad do you have to be to have the USPS come serve a new warrant at your door.
oh man. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is an interesting one.
Hmm.
I don't
It's
know.
interesting because it's ongoing. Like
Yeah,
he's
it's
in
currently going on.
court
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um, so we'll see what that
And the
ends up
cult
being.
still going. Like
Yeah,
they're still dancing. The church is still going.
yeah. And it was interesting because they also talked to other, like you said, other people in the church who like went back decades. Two other
Hmm.
women who went back a long way.
Yeah.
One sisters actually. One who left after like a what was it? She had been out for like 11 years, and the other one who was in the church for that entire
Hmm.
time. So
Like 20
they
years.
went in at the same time. One had been out for like a decade. The other one had just recently left the church. So like,
Yeah, and
which
her
is
story was so
crazy.
sad
Yes.
looking back because she's like, I gave the 23, what could have been
Yeah.
the best years of my life to this. She can't have kids anymore. She
Yeah.
missed her childbearing years. She missed growing up with her sister and, being there for, like, it was just, that part made me so
Yeah.
sad for
That was
her.
heartbreaking. Yeah.
It was so heartbreaking.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, I hate last episode we talked about education. I think that education and empathy would solve a lot of issues. This is a man running this church preying on people who are uneducated about this type of thing.
hmm,
And he has no empathy, clearly.
yeah.
So I don't know. It's just the whole thing is very sad, but very fascinating in the worst way. Like
Yeah.
anything we talk about on this podcast.
Yep. It is. And there's like so many cults out there too that have done things like this that are just
Hmm.
um interesting but
Yeah.
horrifying. Um, but this one is just one of the more recent ones, which is
Hmm.
why it's interesting. So,
Yeah.
and it's I didn't never would I have thought TikTok dance cult would be something that I would ever utter in my entire life.
Right.
So, when somebody said that was a documentary I could watch, I was like, oh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
So, figured that would be
Mm-hmm.
something fun to talk about. But, yeah.
Yeah. It was a very interesting, like I said, I know you had never even heard of this. I had seen it all
Yeah.
firsthand on social media, but didn't even know there was a documentary about it because I just like to watch my conspiracy theory videos. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that's all. Do you have anything else on this, or is it time for facts? I think
No?
that's about all I got.
Yeah, I just highly recommend. It's a good
It's a
watch.
good watch. I love documentaries, by the way. Like,
Mhm.
the only problem that I have with some of them is there can be some really, like, one, there can be some really bad ones. You can have some really
Yeah.
great ones, and you can have some really bad ones. And two,
Yeah.
you have to watch them just like everything else. You have to watch them with a grain of salt and know who's making
Yeah.
them to know whether or
Hmm.
not it is what way it's leaning, because there's always gonna be a little bit
Yeah.
of a bias. So you
Be
have to
critical of your sources for
have
sure.
to think
Hmm.
about who's making it. But anyway,
Yeah.
I think it's time for facts. Hiya, Nick. What's your fact for this
Okay.
week?
I just looked up some different random facts about TikTok.
Okay.
So I didn't know that TikTok was available in over 150 countries because all you hear, I mean, when you think about the internet, it's like, okay, duh, makes sense. But um, you only ever hear about like America and China when people talk about TikTok. But in 2022, TikTok was the most downloaded app, and users spend an average of 23.3 hours per month on the platform, which is crazy.
Almost
That's
an
why
hour
I
a
deleted
day. Yeah,
it.
almost an hour a
Yeah.
day. Dang.
That's why I deleted it.
Yeah.
And then this was interesting because I had seen this guy before, but I would have never guessed this. But KB Lame, who is an Italian and Singalese man, is the most followed individual on TikTok.
Okay.
Um, and he was, I guess, in America recently, detained by ICE, but
Oh, I think I
was
remember
allowed to leave the
seeing that.
country, but he had overstayed a visa
I
or
think I
something. But
remember seeing that.
yeah, I've seen some of his videos before. He does like life hack and duet videos and things
Hmm.
like that. But I never knew he was the most followed. So that was really interesting to me.
Yeah. I tried to look up TikTok facts. Most of the ones that I got were just like things that I already knew. So I was like, okay, well, this is, and I'm not on TikTok, so I was like, well, this isn't really that interesting. So I went for random internet facts because TikTok is on the internet. That's how my brain justifies things. So,
Yeah.
so I have kind of just a spew of just random internet facts. So,
Okay.
first internet message was sent in 1969.
Interesting.
First website went live in 1991, which is a big jump in
Hmm.
time. And
Yeah,
over
that is a big
5
jump.
billion people use the internet today.
Wow.
Our platform here, our lovely friends here at YouTube, YouTube was invented on Valentine's Day of 2005
Hmm.
by 3 former PayPal employees.
Interesting.
And but even though it was made on Valentine's Day, which is February 14th, it
Hmm.
was, let's see, March, April. It was a little over 2 months later before the first video was uploaded. April 23rd
Hmm.
of that year, when the two of the co-founders uploaded the first video to the platform, which was me at the zoo, and featured them talking spending a time at the San Diego Zoo.
Interesting.
And that was 20 years ago, which is crazy to think about.
Hmm.
The last little fun little factoid thing that I have is
Mhm.
Google is the most popular website in the world. Not
Yeah,
surprised.
makes sense.
Googling something is in the dictionary now. Just one of those things. It receives 92.5 billion visits each month,
Hmm. Wow.
which is there's less than 10 billion people in the world, so that's an average of every person visiting the site 10 times a month on every single person in the world on average visiting the site 10 times a month, which I know doesn't seem like a lot, but when you think about it, that's a lot. To me, it seems like a lot. On average, the website processes 63,000 searches every second, which is more than 5.5 billion searches a day, or 2 trillion searches a year.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. That is a lot. So those are the random internet facts that I have for today.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway.
I'm going to have a coughing attack now.
You're going to have a coughing attack. I think that means it's time to end. Hope you guys enjoyed this week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and we'll talk to you next week.